Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR My Driver career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we have some truck series racing here at Road Atlanta, one of the new tracks on the schedule coming our way, our second road course of the season. Just one race for us here today. We're not doing two truck races, just one, and we'll have an Xfinity recap as Cup Series is off this episode. So no Cup Series and no subscriber late model race until the next episode, so stay tuned for that here. We're going to jump straight into the action here from Road Atlanta now, as I always like to say Road America by accident, so we'll see how many times I accidentally do that in today's episode here. Now, as we get underway in practice, and things are going pretty good here now, as this is a tricky track, especially through this first section right here. Hitting turn one is a bit tricky, and then, of course, this little S's section right here, very, very tricky to get perfect. So I don't think I've ever gotten through here perfectly with all the laps that I've put down here at Road Atlanta. So overall, though, I was pretty content with just my first lap of practice. I've run a lot of laps here in the GT3 cars, so obviously it drives completely different from a NASCAR stock car or a NASCAR truck. So I really didn't have much experience to really lean on from that GT3 experience, other than just knowing the corners and where I need to turn, of course. So here at the end of the first lap, though, a lot of grip loss in these final moments here in the final few corners, and there's a whole lot of elevation changes and stuff you have to deal with, but we cross the line and we're P14, and then we jump straight into qualifying. So by the way, Lando Norris is making his NASCAR debut. He is in the field today here, as they are currently had an off week in the Formula One side of things here. As you can see, I actually ended up making a big mistake on my first lap of this qualifying effort, so we would go around and we would have one more attempt here on lap 2, and it didn't get much better. I drove way too deep into turn 1 and off the track I went. So that meant, well, we're going to be starting at the back of the grid here, because we completely destroyed both of our qualifying attempts here in Road Atlanta. So we qualify all the way at the back. Lando Norris, however, up inside the top 10 here on the grid, as we would get ready to go green from Road Atlanta. 17 laps here today, and stage 1 is 3 laps. Stage 2 is only 2 laps. It's a road course, so not many laps in the first couple stages, and then the final stage will be about a 7 or so lap dash, 6 laps or so, because there's caution laps, of course, there that will take some laps away. Cornelius, as well as John Hunter Nemechek on the front row. Lando Norris in the 24 truck here today in that Hooters Silverado, so we'll keep an eye on how Lando Norris does as he qualified up inside the top 10, as we're all the way at the back of the grid. We've got a lot of work to do here as we're going to get ready to go green, as it's lights out and we are underway here from Road Atlanta. I am actually considering using standing starts at road courses in the future as a potential rule change, quote unquote, for NASCAR, so stay tuned on that. But we're not going to do it in the truck series this season, but maybe in next season when we start Xfinity, that could be something that comes into the series. As Cornelius takes the lead right off the bat over John Hunter Nemechek, and starting on the left hand side of the track definitely seems to be an advantage to drivers. So if you're second place, that's probably where you want to be for a restart. So Cornelius was really able to benefit from John Hunter being on the right hand side of the track there. As you go down through the order, I'm trying to make a move here on the right hand side of Jennifer Jo Cobb there. As you see Cornelius running a bit of a defensive line there over the number 4 of John Hunter into the right hander. Root's doing the exact same thing. He's being very defensive there to the right hander. Once again, too, into the hairpin, very defensive line from Cornelius there, as he's going to have John Hunter right behind him there on the curbs now, and he's going to try and fight back to the right-hand side, but he doesn't quite have enough of a run, but he got long straightaway right here. You can really use that draft and try to make a move here down towards this final chicane, which is a very heavy braking zone and a very challenging braking zone for any stock car that is, and you're going to see Cornelius has been defensive the whole lap here, and it works out again for that chicane, and there you see Roots now under attack from Sheldon Creed. Now, through this section, you want to be in the spot that Creed is in, and you can see he blows the doors right off of Michael Roots. Has been running very strong lately here now. As we get a quick update on myself again, as we head down into the chicane, I really had nowhere to go here now, as there were 2 wide in front of me, so we just decided to play it safe, keep this car clean. We have a lot of racing to go. There's Matt Crafton's actually stopped on the left-hand side of the track. Crafton's going to be out of this race on just the first and opening lap. One of the top contenders so far this season, one of the most consistent drivers this season so far, is out on the first lap. What in the world just happened is really the question here with Matt Crafton now, as I'm actually going to send one up the inside of the 15 of Tanner Gray into turn 1, and we are going to be able to move up in another position here, but only 2 laps to go already in stage 1 here now as we finally complete that pass. But let's get a look at what happened to Matt Crafton. He was actually racing with Lando Norris, and right there Norris actually hooks him in the quarter panel, turns him into the concrete wall, and just KOs Crafton's truck here on board with Lando Norris. You're going to see the 88 actually gets sideways here out of the final corner, or the penultimate corner, and just turns right across Norris's front bumper. So I really don't think Norris could have really done anything in that situation there, but certainly not the highlights that he wants to be a part of in his first ever NASCAR race here. So unfortunate for Norris, and especially Matt Crafton, who's out of this race here though. But we continue on our way. This is already the final lap of stage 1, and I once again am just making just full send moves here on a bunch of trucks, because we have a lot more speed than a lot of these trucks, of course, now, as we're still down in like 27th, 6th place. So we have a long way to go in stage 2, and we don't have a lot of time in these first opening stages. So we make a pass there on Spencer Boyd in these closing moments, as it's going to be though Davin Cornelius coming through to win his first stage of his Truck Series career over John Hunter Nemechek. So Cornelius picks up a playoff point there, as the rest of the field is going to come through to cross the line there to round out the top 10. Zane Smith, Stuart Friesen, Lando Norris all down there in that bottom part of the top 10, and just outside of the top 10, as I'm just now coming through these final few corners to actually cross the line. So we have a lot of work to do. No pit stops necessary here, of course, at the end of stage 1. So we're just going to jump into the action and get ready to go green for the start of stage 2. A lot of cloud cover had kind of rolled in here for stage 2. A lot more shade on the track here as we're back ready to go green now, as it is well time to get amped here from Road Atlanta. There you have the AM segment here from Road Atlanta. You noticed after we gained some positions, but Joey Stone and Jake Cook actually had quite the run-in here at the opening moments of Stage 2. And right here you see Stone gets sideways, slams Cook in the door right there, and then they actually make more contact right there. Left side damage to Cook, right side damage to Stone, and they were going at it back and forth there for quite a bit at the beginning of that AM segment here. But now back to us making a move here up the inside of the 13 of Johnny Sauter, who didn't even try to fight me right there. He actually just gave me the position, just kind of left me over on that right hand side, backed out of it, and said you can go have it. So now I go up the inside of Carson Hocevar right there on that number 42 Silverado. Couldn't quite get the power down right there on the exit of the corner, so we have to settle in behind him for the time being, but this opens the door to maybe send a full send into that final chicane. So this chicane and this long straightaway really sets up for some potential just full send moments. So definitely I was trying to line him up, but you can see we were way too far back. This is already on the final lap of Stage 2, by the way, because it's only 2 laps in Stage 2 to give us more racing in Stage 3. So Nemechek wins Stage 2. Cornelius, Creed, Ben Rhodes, you got Eckes coming through as well in that 18, or sorry, Chandler Smith in the 18. Michael Roots in the top 10, Lando Norris as well inside the top 10 there as the rest of the field comes through to cross the line, including myself here moments later now. So no stage points, obviously, but we've been working our way through the field all race long. Now up into 20th place going to the third and final stage, which was about about to get underway. Once again, no pit stops necessary here. We jump straight into the action. Back underway, Cornelius and John Hunter Nemechek on the front row. I'm looking to try and catch some drivers off guard into turn one, and we get such a good restart that we're going to get aggressive and take Truex, Ryan Truex that is, and Travis Brown 3 wide into turn one. They both backed out of it, said you can have it. Now we're to the back bumper of that 29 of Joey Stone there now. As you're going to see him right on the back bumper of Jay Cook. They had to run in, of course, a few moments ago at the beginning of stage 2 in that AM segment. Now as I'm going to try and make a move up the inside of Stone here. Very aggressive move. There was a little bit of contact actually between myself and that 29 there as we come through the S's now. As I try to calm down a little bit, I was realizing I don't want to be too aggressive still and get myself in trouble and wipe all the progress that we have made. Cornelius out in front here in the Road Atlanta third and final stage. Could he pick up his first win here today? We've had one Canadian go to victory lane so far this season, and hopefully Cornelius can be the second one. The first one, of course, being myself here as we make another move up the inside of Joey Stone, and now we're going to be right to the back bumper and to the right-hand side of Jay Cook and that Taco Bell 00 Silverado, but we can't quite get the power down, so unfortunately we would stay behind it. But now I see an opportunity to maybe try and make a move here into this final chicane, and I decided to send a full send here up the inside into Cook. We're going to make contact, and actually we're going to lose control and go for a slide there now as all of the progress that we had just made throughout these first two stages just got completely wiped by an over-aggressive move. I should not have done that. That was a stupid move, and we paid the price. We don't get second chances in iRacing, and that right there unfortunately happened. While that was happening, John Hunter Nemechek actually took the lead away from Davin Cornelius here out of the final turn into turn one, so Cornelius drops down to second place. Nemechek up into P1. Obviously, you could imagine at this point I'm a little bit frustrated with myself, and I wasn't waiting around anymore. I just said, you know what, if I get to you, I'm coming through as soon as I can. We got past the 30 truck. We go to the right hand side of Tanner Gray, and we're actually going to follow him in a full send here into that final chicane again, and I decided to take them 3 wide here into the chicane, and we get 2 for 1 in that corner there. But obviously all that progress we had gained still gone there as we nearly completely wrecked the car again, and that's going to gain the 2 spots we just gained. It gets completely wiped, and then we would have to pass them again, and we would just continue to kind of desperately push our way through the field. Gray goes very defensive into the hairpin. I said I'm not having it. I drive straight into the back of him, move him out of the way. I said I don't want to deal with you right now. We've been very aggressive lately in the truck series here, and eventually I think we're going to pay the price, and we kind of did pay the price here today as we're all the way down in like 26th place. Now trying to make a move to the left-hand side of Tate Fogelman here as we come through out of turn 1. There's actually going to be a little bit of contact right there with Fogelman there as we continue though to go at least in the right direction, and then I kind of put him in a spot where I said you're either wrecking both of us or you back out. Thank goodness he backed out. I didn't know which one he was going to go with here. But now closing in already on the final 2 laps of this race here in Road Atlanta. Nothing really worked out this weekend for us. Lando Norris in his NASCAR debut, by the way, still up inside the top 10. Not running as well as I expected him to run, that's for sure, but nonetheless still having a strong run. He is here as we try to get to the back of Corey Roper here and try and make a pass on him, and he's going to go defensive again into turn 1 as well. Everybody on these road courses really likes to drive defensively, and I like seeing that from the AI, but sometimes I just want to drive straight into the back of them and just dump them. But I was able to complete the pass right there on that 04 and continue on the way here now as we run P24 in these closing moments of Road Atlanta. What a frustrating race to say the least here, and as we came through to start the final lap, we hadn't gained any more spots yet as we had just spent that whole lap trying to run down Austin Wayne's self. John Hunter Nemechek was continuing to lead this race as he looks to become the first multi-time winner on the season. It's pretty crazy to think that we're this far into the season already. We're closing in on the playoffs. The playoffs are not far away, and we have yet to have somebody win more than one race. But John Hunter Nemechek in a position to change that here today now, as I was hoping to be the first one to do that after winning in Bristol. And we had speed to win it. Some of the mile and a half, we just couldn't quite pull it off here as we're right to the back of the Don't Mess with Texas Chevrolet Silverado, driven by Austin Wayne Self here. We're going to get a really good launch there on the exit of the left-hander, and we are going to easily clear Austin Wayne Self up to 23rd, which is going to do us absolutely nothing here, unfortunately, in Road Atlanta. But it's John Hunter Nemechek leading the way through the final few corners. Cornelius is going to at least get a runner-up finish here today, as he just didn't quite have enough speed there to fight Nemechek in this third and final stage here now, as Nemechek comes through to win for the second time this season in Road Atlanta, and a frustrating day to say the least for us at a road course where I expect to be the most competitive. It just wasn't meant to be here now, as you see the rest of the field coming through. And now as I've gotten right to the back of the 19 of Derek Kraus here as we head down into this final corner. We're right on his back bumper here of that Toyota Tundra as we send it off into that final right-hander. We're going to go up the inside. We're actually going to spin out here coming across the line. We still get awarded the same spot right there just behind the 19 as we did cross the line, but we finished P23 as Jay Cook had some choice words for us in his post-race interview.
He's been driving over his head all season, wins one race, and thinks he's the someone needs to clean his out.
Well, a little bit of heat there from Mr. Cook post-race in Road Atlanta. We'll see where that ends us up in here in the coming episodes of this series as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. We as well have an Xfinity race before we end this episode here. Just a real quick recap of what happened there. Austin Cindric started on pole. We had Brandon Brown up there in the mix. Justin Allgaier started just behind Cindric there in that number 7 car here. But not a whole lot happened in this race. It was pretty much just a cruise to victory lane for Austin Cindric there. Now, as you see, Gregson, he was battling there alongside the 68 of Brandon Brown, but nobody had anything for Austin Cindric for that Penske Racing 22 Ford Mustang. He would come through to easily win in Road Atlanta. Shocker there, winning at a road course over Allgaier in second place. But that does it for today's episode. There, as you see the finishing order on your screen. I'll have the truck points in the next episode, so stay tuned for that. As always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch this episode and other ones on the channel. And of course, thank you to the Going Racing members. You'll be at the end of the episode. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, everybody.